guys, and welcome back to my channel. If it's your first time landing on my channel, my name is Kathy, and just a little bit about my channel. I post lifestyle and motherhood videos about being an expat mom and wife here in Dubai. And today's video, I wanted to do something about the passport process that we've just been through to get our little girl's first South African passport. She was born in November, and I received an email 2 weeks ago saying that her passport had been printed and is now on its way back to us in Dubai. So at this point, I don't actually have her passport in hand, but we have completed the entire process and we're just waiting for that call to say that the passport has arrived and making an appointment to go and collect it. When we were looking at how to get the passport done, there was a lot of useful information on South Africans in Dubai's Facebook page, and I just thought a video would be a nice way to consolidate all of that information in one place so that other parents, South African parents going through that process or about to go through that passport process, have some tips and advice and some tricks on how to speed up that process. So as expats living in Dubai, we need our residence visas, and that goes for your baby as well. For every day after 120 days post-birth that your baby doesn't have a residence visa, you're going to be issued a fine from the UAE government. And this can quickly add up, and as South Africans, we often get hit with quite heavy fines. So the goal is to get a passport ASAP, and I think the best way to go about that is just knowing the process involved for applying for that passport as an expat here in a foreign country. So just to get started, the process to start with, you need to get your baby their UAE birth certificate. So when your baby is born in the United Arab Emirates, the hospital will issue a birth notice. You then have to apply for your baby's birth certificate with the UAE authorities. We used a third-party company to do this called Baby Steps. They're super helpful, super efficient, and really worth the money so that you don't have to run around trying to get your baby's birth certificate. As soon as you've got that done, you can then send through an email to the consulate in Dubai, and you're able to book an appointment for the passport and birth certificate application. So you cannot just arrive at the consulate and do that. So what you need to actually have in order to go ahead and submit the application are a few copies of legal documents such as marriage certificates, birth certificates, things like that. And then also you need to have your forms completed. So just to understand the process of getting a first-time passport for a child, so the first thing that needs to happen is the birth needs to be registered and a birth certificate needs to be issued from South Africa. Once that's happened, then you can go ahead with the passport application. So you would submit these applications simultaneously at the consulate. The first form that you need to complete would be for the birth certificate, and this is a DHA 24 form. So complete that. You then will need to complete a BI, I'll double check, I don't know all these forms off by heart, but basically it's a BI 529 form. This is a proof of citizenship, basically your right to own a South African passport. And you would need to complete this for yourself as the mom, the father, and also for the baby. So you would need 3 completed forms. And then finally, the actual passport application form, which is a BI 154. So that would need to be completed as well. The documents that you need to have on hand for copies and legal documents, etc., attested marriage certificates and a copy thereof. You would need 2 passport photos for your baby. You can find the specifications on the DIRCO website. We actually used quite a cool app where we took the passport photo ourselves, and then it sort of got rid of the background and imposed a white background for our baby, and my husband just had to take it through to a photo printing shop to get it printed, and that worked and was accepted. So it can save you having to take your child into town and get photos done, especially with the pandemic going on. So I'd recommend that. Then once you have that appointment, I actually sorted our documents into 4 specific folders. So we had a folder for my husband, all of his documents, ID, passport copies, residence visa copies. I did the same for myself, the same for our baby, and then a document that just had, or a folder that had all of our original documents. So this just made our process upon application much quicker. It allowed the team at the consulate to quickly check through that we had everything we needed to submit our application. So I'd recommend going in quite organized. Also, the consulate does not accept any card payments, so you need to have cash on hand to pay. The cash amounts, as of this past year, it's 195 dirhams for the baby's passport application, and then it's around 70 dirhams for their birth certificates, and opt for unabridged birth certificates so that you've got that on file. The unabridged birth certificate shows the mother and the father's details as well. So kill two birds with one stone and get that certificate done. Right. We then decided to make use of a courier service. So there's very little control you have in speeding up the application process once the application has been submitted. But basically how it works, the consulate here will wait for a certain number of applications to fill a diplomatic bag, which is then sent to Pretoria, and that's when the applications are processed there. They are then returned to Dubai in a diplomatic bag. Now, you can save yourself some time by couriering your application directly from Dubai or Abu Dhabi or wherever you are in the UAE to Pretoria. So this could save you a couple of weeks, as it's not waiting around for more applications to fill the bag. We opted to do this. We used DHL, and it cost us just under 500 dirhams. A lot of people say they use Skynet, or any courier could probably do it. We just know and trust DHL. We used them. So DHL collected our application about a day after we had been to the consulate. I just confirmed with the consulate that everything was done from their side and they needed nothing more from us, and they said that the courier can come and collect. We then gave our baby's full name so that the courier collection could request her application, and we paid the courier directly via an online payment. The consulate team is very helpful, and they actually complete the waiver with the correct physical address where the application needs to go to Pretoria. So the application is then sent to the birth registrar where your baby's birth is registered, and the birth certificate is printed, and then that department will forward the application for the passport to Department of International Relations where your baby's passport is printed. So yeah, those are basically the steps. Once that's happened and passport is printed, they will then send your complete documents back to Dubai. Unfortunately, because of the nature of the passport and birth certificate being legal documents, they cannot really allow or permit someone to collect these documents on your behalf. Some people, I have heard, made arrangements with family or parents to do that. When we inquired at the consulate, they said that's no longer an option. Of course, ask again, maybe it changes and you can do that. But from our side, we tried and we had to wait for the diplomatic bag to be filled and for her passport to be dispatched with that bag. So that's where we're at the moment. Waiting for the arrival of the passport, at which point the passport will be, once arrived in Dubai, we'll be notified either via email or phone call, and we then have to make an appointment again in order to go and actually collect the passport from the consulate. So yeah, just a few hints and tips. This is definitely no form of legal advice. I'm just sharing our experience and the information we've learned along the way. But a few hints and tips, I would say. Before your baby is even born, go ahead to the consulate and collect the forms and complete them. You cannot download all of the forms because the birth registration form is a carbon copy form, so you need to go and collect a physical form. Do this in advance so that when baby's born, you're not worried about trying to complete it, and you can already take your completed documents to submit the application. Secondly, budget to do the courier from the UAE to South Africa. we believe that saved a lot of time. And if we look at the printing process and everything, taking into consideration our submission was also right before Christmas, the fact that we're probably going to get our baby's passport by the end of March is really good, and we won't have more than probably 3 weeks worth of fines to pay, which will be great. So I definitely recommend that. And then don't forget to take your cash on hand. So in total, you're probably going to need just under 400 dirhams cash to get your applications submitted. So I did follow up every week with my daughter's application. I sent emails, and I must say I found the team very responsive in South Africa. I didn't wait longer than 48 hours to get a response after each email I sent. So follow-up really is key, and I will be following up now with the consulate, as I know they are expecting the arrival of the diplomatic bag. We're not sure when that's going to happen, but just so I keep following up and stay top of mind. So I really hope this video helped, guys, and that you can just benefit from knowing the whole process. I've also just created a little Excel form, which is a checklist of the documents you need to have for your applications, and I'll link that down below in this video so that you're welcome to just print or use that form to keep track of your own applications. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please don't forget to give it a thumbs up, like it, share it, and please subscribe to my channel as well if you'd like to follow along for more motherhood and lifestyle videos as an expat here in Dubai. Thanks so much, guys, and catch you in the next video. Bye!